team locked in to where you want it to be after going through fall practice? I mean, have you covered all the bases and got the team where you want it to be going into your first game?
Going into the first game, I like the direction that we're going. There's a lot to improve on, a lot to continue to work on, but I like our improvement. I like our focus, our attention to detail, and our preparation in regards to our first game against a really good Elon team.
Concerns? How about concerns? Lingering concerns?
Not concerns, but just facts that we've got to rebound the basketball. It's always been important to me. I've got it from Coach Williams. It's the number one determining factor of the outcome of a game, and we're going to have to rebound the basketball. We're going to have to defend, and we're going to have to take care of the basketball. And those are three boxes that have to be checked every day.
When you got a deep team like you, do you go into a game with kind of a set idea how you're going to substitute, or does it evolve during the game?
I think it's a combination of both. I think, going into the game, you have rotations, especially in the first half, that you definitely want to see. But, the game is the game, and that dictates in terms of rotations and styles and strategies. And so there is a level of preparation in regards to the game and of who's playing, what type of lineups that I like to see out there. But I also let the game dictate itself.
What is your level of, are you pleased with the speed, how fast they're playing? You said you want to be the fastest team in the country, the way they're attacking the basket. Yeah. I think 63 of your 133 shots are right at the rim in the two exhibition games. Is that kind of what you want to see moving forward?
I do. I do like the pace, but the number one thing that I tell the guys is where we get our pace is from the defensive end. It's getting stops and rebounds. That's what allows us to get out into the break and be efficient in transitioning from defense to offense. And so I tie it always back to defense and rebounding, that if we defend and rebound, that's where we can start getting out in transition. Our pitch aheads have been really good. I feel like, five guys are sprinting to offense, and we're trying to get what we want, a layup or a dunk or a deep post catch or get fouled, get to the free throw line, or a quick and open three by our best three-point shooters.
And regardless of the opponent, how valuable is it that you could show them directly the other day at about the 8 or 9 minute mark when you picked it up on defense, picked it up on the glass, and you saw all the easier baskets fall?
It is. I think that's great to be able, one of the things that I tell them that, I like, rarely will I use stats, but I will use stats to confirm what I already know. So it was great to be able to make that point to them that a change was made with 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half because we got after it defensively, started rebounding the basketball, and then that allowed us to get out in transition. So to be able to talk about it and then show them actual examples of that working out in our favor for our benefit, I think it's really huge for this team.
Hubert, I was talking to Seth the other day, and I made the joke that it's a shame these numbers don't count after the 2 exhibition games that he's had.
They do count.
For his season total.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I'm too good of a player to hold myself back this season. Mm-hmm. What do you think has instilled that, has him believing that, and has him in this space that he appears to be in going into this season?
Well, to me, it's the natural progression of, getting more comfortable, getting more confident, more mature in terms of, your game. And that's, I was a better player my sophomore year than I was my sophomore year, and a better player my junior year to my sophomore year because of the experience and the growth, not only on the court, but also off the court. And so, I think it's 2 things. One, it's a natural progression of growth. And then number 2 is his hard work over this summer. He's put in the work to put himself in a position to be playing the way he is right now.
Hubert, what are your thoughts on Coach Bennett retiring at Virginia a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I just I hadn't had a chance to speak with him. We played against each other in the NBA, so we've known each other a long time. Can't think of a better coach and a better person to be around, to be an example of. really, 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 really miss him because I think not only is he good for college basketball, he's great for college basketball. The way that he coaches, but he coaches to make obviously his players a better basketball player, but to prepare them for life. It's bigger than basketball for him, and I just have tremendous respect for him and his family, and I wish that he didn't retire, and he'll be missed.
When you were talking about defense and rebounding and really pushing that or emphasizing that message, do you think your guys are wired to sort of embrace that the way you want? Like some guys naturally are the types that are really uber competitive and really want to go after it defensively. Others may not instinctively.
You're right.
You have to coach it out of them. I mean, do you have a sense for what this group could be in that regard?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I mean, I don't think last year's team fully bought into the importance of defending and rebounding until the Oklahoma game. I felt like that's where they got it, and that's where we took off. My hope is that it doesn't take to the 10th game of the season that we can fully commit to those two things and how important it is for the success of this team. But it's something that I talk about every day, and I'm going to talk about it every day for the remainder of the season.
Hubert, we talk a lot about year-to-year improvement for players. We talk a lot about Elliott's improvement across the board.
Yeah.
It looks like the game has slowed down even more for him with the way he's maneuvering screens. I mean, have you noticed that? What have you noticed with how he's facilitating?
Yeah, again, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a great question. Again, the difference between myself, obviously not at the level of Elliott, but my sophomore year to my junior year, you just being familiar, being comfortable. You're right, the game is slowed down for him on both ends of the floor. He's been fantastic defensively, his leadership off the court, his example, his hard work over the summer. But what he sees out there offensively, it's slowed down for him. I felt like last year at times the defense would dictate what he did on the offensive end, and that's not the case anymore. He dictates. It doesn't matter how the defense plays us or plays him. He knows where he wants to go. He knows where the ball needs to go, and he feels very confident and comfortable being able to do it.
When it comes to Cade Tyson, through those first couple of exhibition games, what have you observed from him as far as his, I guess, the process of him getting acclimated, within the offense and within the team, and also just his process of, kind of getting more comfortable out there on the court with you?
Yeah, I mean, Cade is a basketball player. He's 6'8", and he can really shoot the basketball, which that really helps our team. But he's an excellent rebounder. He's really been great in terms of trying to get us second chance opportunities. But even if he doesn't get the offensive rebound, he's really good at keeping the ball alive and tipping it out. And so his ability to run the floor, he can handle the basketball, so he can score off the bounce. He feels comfortable being able to post up. So I see, his, not his role, but his ability on the offensive end just to continue to grow every game, and he's feeling more comfortable out there on the floor. But he's been everything that we have wanted him to be and even more.
Do you feel he's kind of, figured out that balance of, when to, kind of get his shots and when not to? It seems like at times, maybe he does, maybe pass up a three, things like that. Do you feel he's kind of figuring that balance out?
Well, I think it's, when you're always, changing teams, there's always a transition, and you're trying to, get comfortable. And I think at sometimes, you coming in as a new player and you see established players like Seth and RJ and Jay Wash, and you want to fit in. And I've told all the 10 new players, I don't need you to try to fit in. The team will fit in around you. We're not asking you to be a role player. We're not asking you to play a role. We're asking you to be the best player that you can become. So whatever you have in your bag, bring it out, and the team will adjust to you. And so that's been my communication to Cade and everyone else.
Hubert, with Elliott, did you guys work with anything mechanically on his jump shot during the summer? To my eyes, it looked maybe a little smoother in motion than it had at points last year.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things from his jump shot last year, just working on his balance, That's the foundation point of shooting, is just having a good base, and he really worked hard on that, being balanced on his shot. His follow through was really good, but I think it's something that he looked at this summer and really wanted to make it even better. But he's also spent a ton of time in the gym. I mean, I can't remember a time being on the court and Elliott not being there, or any of our workouts or practices, him not getting extra shots before or after practice. We have practice at 3:30 today. We have team picture at 3. He'll be out there as soon as after the team picture, he'll start shooting shots. He's out there with Coach Page every day. And then after practice, he is shooting. So there is a reason that he feels more comfortable from the perimeters, because he's putting in the time.
Given the magnificent season that RJ had last year, and he's so experienced, his 5th season, has your message to him just individually been any different going into this season compared to last year, as he was having such a great year? Are you telling him any different type of stuff going into this year?
The only thing differently that I told him this year compared to last year was that him, and I think I've said this to you guys before, him being a 5th-year senior, first-team All-American, he could really take a position apart from the team because of his success here. And I felt like, for him, what would be huge for our team was if he would be a connector with the 10 new guys, reaching out to and becoming, developing relationships with the walk-ons, the freshmen, the transfers. And he has done that. He has been our connector. His relationships with all the new players has really bound our team together to bring us really great chemistry, and it's because of him. Last year, we had Armando, Cormac, Harrison, Pax. This year, it's RJ, and so it's more of a load for him, but I felt like to bring our team together, I felt like RJ had to be the one, had to be the connector, and he's done a really good job of that. But that's the only difference in my communication with him this year compared to last.
Time for 2 more quick
And
ones.
just to follow up real quick, and that's off the court stuff.
That's off the court stuff, but that helps on the court.
Sure.
And that helps Kate feel more comfortable, or Vin, or our walk-ons, or Ian and Drake and JB, because wow, here's this first-team All-American who had a historic year, and he's taking me out to lunch, he's taking me out to breakfast, he's talking to me during practice, he's my teammate, and I feel involved. And I think that just goes a long way in how we play on the court, but it also goes a long way in the locker room.
There aren't a lot of teams that have a guy with Jay Wood's experience that would come off the bench, assuming he comes off the bench, and he's talked about that. What kind of value is it having an older guy like him who's experienced some of the interesting things he has in his career and fully embraces coming in and doing some of the lunch pail stuff that he says he enjoys doing?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's obviously has a lot of experience, and I think experience goes a long way, especially during this time. You need guys that have been there before, been through different situations, to allow them to be put in situations where they can be successful. You talk about, the growth of Seth and Elliott, and talking about RJ and Cade. One of the guys that hasn't been talked about is Jay Witt. I mean, he's been really good in practice. I mean, he's been an encourager, the way that he has led in the locker room, on the court, but just what he's doing on the court, we don't have. We don't have a 6'9" outside of him, athletic, versatile defender that can run the floor, that can shoot threes, that can attack the basket at his length and athleticism. And when he's playing at a high level, he's a game changer for us, and he knows that. And I think being here in his 2nd year, he feels more comfortable. And again, I think it's just a natural growth of being here for his 2nd year, understanding me, being around me for 2 years as opposed to 1 year. And he looks more comfortable and more confident this year than he was any time last year. And that puts a huge smile on my face.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.